On Nationwide this evening, Streets Ahead in the Talent Stakes. Street artists from all over the world gather in Portlaoise to decide who's the champion. We meet the current title holder, who shows us just what it takes to become a world champion in the tough business of street performance. And Stradbally shows off its newly opened art house. And you're very welcome to another edition of the programme and to the Street Performance World Championships here in Portlaoise on what is a soft day, it must be said. The whole thing takes place actually in three venues here in Portlaoise, of course, as we said, also in Cork, and it culminates in Dublin this weekend. And they've come from all over the world to compete for the title. So if it's zany, wacky or jaw-dropping performances you want, this is the place to be.
How we doing?
So you can see just how varied a festival it is. This is actually the 6th year of the Street Performance World Championships, and the man who hatched the whole thing is Conor McCarthy. Conor, how did it begin and why?
It began 6 years ago when myself and my business partner, Mark Duckenfield, my now business partner, were in Temple Bar in Dublin, and we saw a group of African acrobats do a street show that honestly blew us away. We stayed and watched it twice, actually. And at the end of it, we said to ourselves, why isn't there more of this kind of high-level street show entertainment in Ireland? And we both went our separate ways, and we met up the next evening. We kind of said, are you still thinking about that show we saw in Temple Bar? And I was like, yeah, I am. Maybe we should do something about this. So at the end of the day, we basically gave up our jobs and said, let's do this properly.
Now, we say it's a World Championships. Is it always based in Ireland, or how does it work?
The final is always held in Ireland. What we do is we bring the best championship entertainers from around the world, from countries like Australia, Japan, New Zealand, America, Canada, and pit them against each other. But yes, the final is always in Ireland.
And how varied would the acts be? We've seen some of them before.
Yeah.
How mad does it get?
It gets pretty mad. We get applications from acts that honestly wouldn't make it into the festival because it gets so mad. But every year we always have the best in jugglers, clowns, sword swallowers, and just all-around good entertainers, and of course the lot are comedians.
And it's quite a big undertaking, but how does it make its living? How do the finances run?
Well, we put the thing on through sponsorship and of course help from the local councils. So this year Dublin City Council, Cork City Council and Laois County Council have been absolutely brilliant in helping us to bring the festival to those three locations. But every year we're looking for sponsorship, and yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for someone to get involved with the festival.
It's obviously a thing that very much appeals to families. It's good fun for the kids.
Definitely, yeah. We always get a good percentage of families and friends coming down. I think it's something like 68% of our crowd are families and friends, so there's an awful lot of happy, smiling kids on site every year.
Now, this year's festival is, as we said earlier in the programme, is culminating in Dublin when you'll have the final decision who the champions are. How does that work?
Every year we collect the votes from the festivals that we do. So this year we count the votes from Cork, Portlaoise and Dublin. And it's a public vote. You fill out a box, you drop it in our ballot box, and then we count them at the end and nominate the winner. So it's completely fair, it's completely even. If you like an act, you vote for them. That's the way it works.
And is there a glittering prize?
The prize is that you get to come back the following year, and as I said earlier, you get to put it on your CV. I won the Street Performance World Championship in Ireland.
Now, of course, some of the acts here, they're pretty wacky, as we said. And you're going for a World Championship, which explains this elegant garb.
This particular get-up. I'm dressed as Where's Wally? He's an American cartoon character, and the idea is that you buy the books and you have to find Wally in the books. And that's how we're going to stage our world record this year. We're going to do a world record in Merrion Square in Dublin this weekend for the most amount of people dressed as Where's Wally. What we're going to do is we're going to take a high-resolution photograph, and you'll be able to go on our website, zoom in on yourself and tag yourself in the first ever real-life Where's Wally photograph.
So we really will be able to serve ourselves a bit of a Wally.
Everyone will be Wallies that day.
Now, many of the performances here at the World Championships involve some element of danger, and the time-honoured phrase of television applies. These should definitely not be tried at home. Well, a short time ago, we caught up with some of the performers and found out something about their world.
I'm Chris, I'm from Manchester, this is Kabo.
From Tokyo, Japan. Peace, peace.
We're Funny Bones. We're the Dublin World Champion Festival. We're going over to Portlaoise, we're going over to Cork, we're travelling all around Ireland. We'll finish off the festival in Dublin. We bring in a different kind of act this year. It's more of a slapstick comedy, giant puppet, breakdance, mime, beatboxing. I'm from Manchester. I started travelling around the world, and after about 3 years of going to all the Western countries, I ended up going to Asia and doing my show there. And then I met Kabo. We first looked at each other. We both knew we were street performers. We just kind of, beer, yeah, okay. We shared a beer, drank a beer, did a show together, didn't plan anything. The result was really funny, crazy, and in the end I said, Laois, let's join together, you know, we've got something here. I'll come to move to Japan, I'll do it there. So I've been living there 10 years. Yeah, of course, that meant that we were there on the earthquake, which was, how can you explain it? When you get an earthquake, if you've ever felt like a little judder, well, imagine that judder is like 1-2 seconds. Well, it was 7 minutes long. Yeah, the concrete on the floor, when it was over, it was opening and closing, even when there was no earthquake. Yeah, and the most stressful really is the aftershocks. We had about 1,000 aftershocks in about a month. Yeah, it was a disaster, but it was no problem. We still lived there. We brought performers over, and they came over for Golden Week, which was May, and they all had a great time. Funny Bones.
Ladies and ladies, a Mr. Spin Show is just about to start. What I was doing, I was just going crazy. I couldn't believe it myself.
You might dig out that old 78.
I did some Chinese devil sticking, a little bit of 3-ball juggling. I got a ball thrown through the air, I caught it on my forehead, spun a ring on my leg and juggled 5 balls. Then I went for an 8-ball juggle, don't know why, but I did it and I was pretty happy about that. And then I flew through the air, landed on top of a big 10-foot zigzagged unicycle, balanced a glass of water on my head and juggled 3 razor-sharp baseball bats of death. And I'm alive. I'm here with my wife and new son, who's 4 months now, 4.5 months. And, you know, it can be a bit tough, but it's a nice life. We go everywhere, you know. I've been almost everywhere, doing shows all over the place. Like, where have I been recently? I've been to China, just came back from Germany, I've been to Romania, Italy, Spain, New Zealand, of course Australia, that's where I'm from. Audiences are great everywhere, I find. You know, as long as you're really strong and you give them your best, then the audience are always going to be pretty good, yeah. But of course they're the best here.
I'm called Goliath, the world's smallest strongman. Yes, so I first started this act about 4 years ago, and I got together with the Space Cowboy and his Sideshow Wonderland and put the performance together, and yeah, started touring around Australia with him over a few years, and then eventually got into the street performing industry and for a couple of years now, and been doing shows ever since all around Australia. And this is my first trip overseas to Dublin, and obviously here for the Street Performing World Championships, which I'm very excited about. I am obviously the world's smallest strongman, so that's a championship that no one can take from me at the moment. So, like I said, if there's someone out there that's smaller than me and stronger than me, I'm willing to, you know, give them a challenge. But yeah, at the moment, I am that champion. Well, I'm an entertainer. I've run an entertainment company back in Melbourne, Australia, which is where I'm from, and hire out little people like myself. We do character work and dance performances, so entertaining and performing's, yeah, it's in my blood. I've been doing it for years, and Goliath was just another element that came together, and it's just taken off hugely. And yeah, so now I'm starting to travel around the world performing. Life is great.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Space Cowboy, and right now I'm going to attempt to swallow the entire length of this 63 centimetre sword blade. Before I do it, I'm going to quickly sterilise the sword with an alcohol wipe, make it nice and clean, and I'll slide it all the way down my throat. So remember, kids, always sterilise. But first, one little demonstration to show you how dangerous this actually is. With one cucumber, this is real, this is live, this is bloody dangerous. Here we go. I'm the Space Cowboy. I come all the way from Byron Bay, Australia, and I'm here for the Street Performance World Championships. And I'm going to be performing in Merrion Square in Dublin from the 16th till the 19th. So come down, check it out, and vote for me. I'm a 10 times Guinness World Record holding sword swallower, and I'm going to be juggling chainsaws on a 3-metre unicycle and performing other death-defying acts for your viewing pleasure. Well, I started when I was 8 years old, actually. We've got a local market in my hometown where I started doing street shows when I was just a kid. I was just a natural show-off, so people threw money in front of me and I thought I'm onto something here, so I kept doing it. And now I've performed in more than 30 countries, and yeah, I travel around the world and I love what I do. Yeah!
And of course, all those performers are here in Portlaoise and will later be in Dublin, hoping to win the World Championship. Well, now we're heading up to Bangor in County Down there to meet Jack Wise, who's the current reigning champion, and he's also Ireland's first ever world champion. We teamed up with him to find out how he got started and what that world win did for him.
This is the oldest gambling scam in the world. It's known as the 3-card trick. And it was this trick which got me first started in magic. The idea of the game is you got to keep your eye on the queen all the time. Which one would you go for? 90% of people would go for this card, which is why only 10% of people ever win. When I was about 12 years old, a neighbour of mine caught me in his back garden stealing apples. He dragged me into the house. I thought he was going to call my parents. Instead, he just gave me a severe ear bashing for about 5 minutes, and then he took out a pack of cards and he taught me this trick. And it was this trick which started my lifelong fascination with magic.
2, 1. It's the batteries, Harvey. The batteries have run out.
Look at this, kids. It's actually going into... Can you see that? Look at that. It's going into the balloon. It's amazing.
Uh-oh. What's wrong? I need to do a wee-wee. God's sake, sir. Uh-oh. I just did my wee-wee.
The biggest thing about winning the Street Performance World Championships last year was it was the first Irish performer to ever win it. And it was also the amount of people that turn up at the festival. It's the second largest festival, second largest public attended event to the St. Patrick's Day parade. There's like 300,000 people go through Merrion Square over 3 days, and you're doing shows for audiences of 1,500, 2,000 people. So the big thing was just the exposure, the amount of people who saw the show and hopefully enjoyed the show, and then the business that came out of it.
Mum's watch. Get Mum's watch. Come on, Mum. Let's have the watch. Take it off.
My favourite trick is smashing up other people's stuff. I get a kid to borrow their parents' watch. They bring it out, and then I wrap it in a handkerchief, and I get the child to beat the living daylights out of it with either a hammer or it's a small baton that looks like a magic wand. And you have that moment of shock on the parent's face. Of course, the watch ends up okay in the end of it. Quite often the parents aren't okay by the end of it, but the watch is. The greatest influence on my career in magic would be a man by the name of Billy McComb, who was born in Belfast. If you can imagine a man in his late 80s coming out, the curtains come back, the audience just look at him, and he looked ancient. And he'd shuffle out and he'd look at the audience and go,
I want to speed this along because there's rice pudding now at the home. I'm down there, I'm going to miss it.
And his entire act was just full of jokes and loads of brilliant magic. He didn't take any of it seriously. He didn't expect the audience to take any of it seriously. And that's kind of my approach to performing. It's kind of play for laughs and try and get a couple of moments of amazement in there as well. I saw a sword swallower on TV and it just immediately caught me. I was fascinated.
Kids, don't try this at home.
I went and I borrowed a book from the library called Memoirs of a Sword Swallower, which is about a guy who ran away. He literally joined the circus and he learned sword swallowing. And that's what got me started. And it took about 6 months to practicing every day, and then I kind of had it. There are only 60 sword swallowers in the world. That's 1 in 100 million. And I think the reason there's so few is because it is so difficult to learn. And also because if you lacerate your esophagus or your stomach wall, they can't find the injury in time to put you back together. I should probably take this opportunity to apologise to my poor mother for all she had to put up with at home. I mean, most parents, they look out into the back garden, they see their kid throwing stones. My mum would look out in the back garden and she'd see me trying to swallow the garden shears or something. I want to take this opportunity actually to apologise to my poor mother for all the things I put you through, Mum. I'm so sorry.
I'll put the ball in my pocket, you tap the cup, it'll travel back by magic.
I did a 9-to-5 for years as an electronic engineer. It didn't suit me. Working for a living, doing that kind of stuff, I couldn't handle that.
As soon as you do, it travels back underneath the cup. Give the kid a clap, come on.
I would say first and foremost, I'm a magician who does comedy.
No, sir, it only works with your finger. Watch, from there to there and back, ready?
A friend of mine who's a comedian called me a modern-day vaudevillian, which I took as a massive compliment because I do ventriloquism and I sword swallow. It's a very mixed... I suppose I'd consider myself an entertainer. I just want to entertain people.
I can't believe you actually looked it down. That was good. I'm going to kick the crap out of you.
I think it was Marcus Aurelius who said one of the things to being happy is to keep interesting company, and that would be one of the real reasons I'm in this game, is because you meet amazing people, and the applause as well when you walk off stage and you've had a good show and the audience have really enjoyed themselves, and there's no feeling like it in the world.
And Jack is once again taking part in this year's festival, and of course we wish him the very best of luck. Now, the people of the broad Portlaoise area, the whole area around about, they've really turned out to support this street performance championships, and that has meant a great buzz around the place. Businesses are doing well. Hotels like the Heritage here are absolutely full. There's a big financial payoff for the area, and that presumably is why the County Council wanted to get the festival here. And one of the men who worked hard to draw it in is Ian McCormack. Ian, why did you want this particular festival?
This festival gives a very high profile to County Laois. We're working in the council with other organisations on establishing County Laois as the premier events destination in Ireland. So this is a very high profile event, together with the Rose of Tralee Irish regional finals, which were hosted here in Portlaoise last year. Brought 51 roses from all around the world to Portlaoise. But again, this is very family orientated, draws out a good crowd and creates that feel-good factor.
I'm sure getting all these festivals into the town sort of improves lifestyle and all of that, but fundamentally it's all about the economy, isn't it?
Yeah, these festivals, I suppose, they do give the profile and the exposure, but they do generate economic activity as well, and you create that feel-good factor. I suppose here in County Laois, we're not a Killarney, but we're a very central location, and we're ideally located for festivals and events. But we're hoping to establish County Laois as the events destination of Ireland. People might come and hopefully they'll enjoy themselves and come back again another day.
And spend.
And spend, exactly. Yeah.
Now, we've been hearing how the County of Laois is striving to develop itself as a centre for all manner of festivals and events, to get a real buzz and get business going. It's also developing the artistic side of life, and to that end, they've just opened a spanking new €1.2 million art house in the town of Stradbally, just 12 kilometres out the road.
Laura Byrne is the arts administrator at the newly opened art house in Stradbally in County Laois. Laura is one of 2 artists living on site. The new centre cost over €1.2 million to develop, and its facilities include a library, a gallery, artist studios and a musical rehearsal space.
I'm living here with another artist, and we've got 2 small apartments here. We're just like in the middle of getting our open call out for the gallery, so people from Stradbally can apply for exhibitions. We're also putting out internationally through Laois Arts as well, so that we have international artists coming to Stradbally as well, and national artists. So bringing new art into the town, into Laois, into Leinster, so it's exciting.
When it comes to the arts, Laois is a busy place, with dance, theatre, visual arts, all happening throughout the county.
Today we're rehearsing for a production that's going to go ahead on the 27th of June called Mathematics. It's a group of young people who are involved in a dance ensemble. 13 is the youngest and 16 is the eldest, so it's kind of first to third year.
And we've been very, very fortunate over the last 20 odd years in the developments that have taken place. I think it would be fair to say the local authority are to the fore with those developments. They have consistently supported the arts and the development of the arts in the county, and I think that that is clearly evident through the different projects that are here. We have the Laois Arts Centre, established well over the 10 years now at this stage, the Laois School of Music as well, and then we have this now to add to our service, the art house and the library here, where we have artists coming to reside in County Laois. I mean, that's just so wonderful, and we are hoping to involve a lot more international artists in the art house too. The Malthouse Studios down on the main street, that too is extremely important. A number of artists working out of the studios there, and you know that we all work together to allow the whole thing to flourish.
NCAD graduate artist Vera McAvoy is involved in an arts education programme at the centre.
These are all local people who answered. I put a small little ad in the local church bulletin, and these contact me along with another 10 who weren't lucky enough to get in, but maybe we can slot them in again somewhere. So they volunteered to look at making art and to look at how art can relate to our current economy and to us personally, how we can benefit from it. And this is for everybody, it's not just for the elite. Everything that we're working on is recycled and changed, altered in some way to make a new artwork or a new product from it.
Locating the art house alongside the library allows each facility to benefit from the other.
The library has always been here in Stradbally Courthouse. It's recently been refurbished and now has a fabulous facility for all of the community. Having a library and an art house together is a unique opportunity here in County Laois, and it will provide an excellent focal point for all of the community groups and for the general public here in Stradbally. Our members are members of the locality, and they're from the outlying rural areas as well. There are 3 schools in Stradbally, and the children we have here are from the 3 different schools, and they are from all different classes, and they're just a general mix. We have over 8,000 books in total in the whole library. We have a fabulous children's section with children's books and fiction and non-fiction items.
Stradbally Youth Theatre performed at the official opening.
Stradbally Youth Theatre is, I think, there's a lot of emphasis on fun, and it's about the process, you know, as well as the final product, you know.
It's a great spot for the arts around here, isn't it?
It's fantastic. This is a beautiful space. The library is fantastic, and hopefully the actual youth theatre may get a chance to rehearse in one of the spaces in here as well. So it's great all round.
I gained so much confidence and fun and experience from youth theatre, so it's great to see this new group learn so much from youth theatre, and it's great to have the space to work in because it's fantastic, and I wish I had this space when I was in youth theatre because it would have been so exciting.
It's a great facility for the town. Especially for us, because we hadn't really got a place to come and perform all the time in our own town.
It's nice just to have somewhere to go for just to look at all the art and different things.
This former courthouse is open for business, and like this young transition year student Chris Conroy, who's using the rehearsal space, those in charge are hoping the range of facilities will prove to be a godsend for the local community.
The people of Stradbally there enjoying their new state-of-the-art art house. Well, here in Port Laois, the Street Performance World Championships, well, they're moving on up to Dublin, and they'll be taking place in Dublin's Merrion Square on tomorrow. That's Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So do bring the kids along. They'll really enjoy it. And do join us again on Friday next. Until then, from Port Laois and from all of us in the Nationwide team, a very good evening to you. And on next Friday's Nationwide, the very special rose which commemorates a County Carlow village's first national title win in the Tidy Towns competition. Waterford gets a new museum in one of its architectural gems, and the gardens around it have been brought back into bloom. And in South Kerry, a Tidy Towns winner of the 80s shows how constant striving and renewal of interest is the norm.